probably about 20 minutes ago, the Japanese Prime Minister Kishida, had a press conference to talk about basically heed the warnings that have been announced by the Japan Meteorological Agency. One thing to remember is that in the 2011 earthquake and tsunami in Japan, about 20,000 people died or ended up missing, and most of those people were killed by the tsunami that washed in and took out houses and also went further inland up through rivers.
And of course, Japan is well used, as you mentioned, that tsunami of 2021, dealing with earthquakes and tsunamis. What kind of precautions and procedures are in place there?
Okay, so one of the lessons that they learned after 2011 was that people had become kind of used to these sort of tsunami warnings and tsunami alerts, and so people did not heed the warnings, and so they've actually raised the level of warnings that they give, and they've given more detailed warnings, and they've also have like things. They've had this before, but sirens as well as other announcements to announce them, and also all the Japanese radio and also television stations, including the national broadcaster NHK. They broadcast live all the warnings and also where the areas that are going to be affected. And so that's been going on for the last over an hour. So all the stations, that's all they're talking about is the tsunami warnings and telling people to take heed of if there are warnings that the tsunamis are coming, that they must evacuate. Otherwise, their lives could be in danger.
Finally, James, I mean, it must be very difficult for the authorities there. As you say, they have this previous experience. They're already putting in those procedures in place to warn people. It's difficult to see, isn't it, where the balance comes and how bad things could be this time around.
Right. But from what I've seen, I've been here in Japan for about 30 years. A 5-meter warning, that's actually quite large. Usually when you hear the tsunami warnings, they're talking about tsunamis that may be coming in, at 30 centimeters or a meter. But 5 meters, I mean, I haven't heard anything like that probably since 2011. So that's actually a very, very grave sign that you should heed the warning that if they're talking about something that's coming in at 5 meters, because when that starts running inland, it's going to get higher and higher, as it follows rivers or streams or other sort of waterways.